My name is Michael Offenbecker, and I will be talking about the art movement of realism, more specifically, Gustave Courbet's role that he played in the movement. Realism is defined as the accurate, detailed, unembellished depiction of nature or of contemporary life. Characteristics of realism art include accuracy, fine details, and literal depictions of the subject matter, not exaggerating any of the features, truly capturing what the subject is supposed to look like. Realism was developed in 19th century France after the Revolution in an effort to reject Romanticism, which was the classically taught form of art in most schools that day. Romanticism mainly emphasized the imagination and the emotions of the artist, rather than capturing their subject matter as it truly is. In the art on screen, Wanderer Above the Sea Fog, you can see that the artist has potentially a picture of themselves painted over a vast background. Some may interpret this as the world is unknown, and you can look out and you may see the entire world as a whole, but it's very unknown and it's very vast, so you don't know what's truly out there. Others may interpret this as the artist is seeing himself as conquered his own world and moving on to the next step. This is peak romanticism as it invokes your imagination and plays off of the emotions of the artist. During the realism movement, artists wanted to depict what life truly was like for the normal person. Key artists of this movement were Gustave Courbet, Honoré Daumier, and Jean-François Millet. Gustave Courbet was a leading artist in the realism era. He was most influenced by how he did not like that the schools were teaching artists the classical and romanticism form of art. Courbet wanted to show the hardships of everyday life and show how it was living as a hard-working person in the middle class during that time, which led to some of his artwork depicting the working class in their fields. Now, some may say that Henrik Ibsen was the father of realism, but to me it was Gustave Courbet. Even his friend dated the beginning of realism to 1848, where he was talking about post-revolution, but also the very first time he saw Courbet's work. Courbet's big three, or three main arts that really put him on the map, were A Burial at Ornans, The Stonebreakers, and The Peasants of Flegy Returning from the Fair. As seen in the quote, Courbet's friends Champfleury and Bouchon saw them as breaking away from academic idealism and spoke approvingly of Courbet's realism. These three artworks were true definitions of realism, showing hard-working people and the average people. A Burial at Ornans, in specific, caused many people to be upset because of the many faces that were painted on the picture were not beautiful. They were normal, average, and even some ugly faces, leading to some backlash on Courbet. However, this was Courbet's goal because he wanted to depict the average person. Here we can see the painting more close up. A Burial at Ornans was a painting of a funeral for Courbet's great uncle in Courbet's birthplace of the small town of Ornans. Here you see average looking people, all upset. Nothing is romanticized, nothing is imagined. You can feel the emotion through the painting of the people that were there. This size of painting was also mainly used for heroic type of paintings or religious paintings in the past. However, Courbet wanted to honor his great uncle with this type of painting. In The Bathers, we can see that Courbet is capturing women in their natural beauty. In paintings in the past, women would have smooth bodies. You would not see their wrinkles as you can see in the woman on the left, and they would be in traditionally flattering poses. Courbet wanted to celebrate and accept the female body for what it truly was, because as humans we are naturally beautiful and we do not need to romanticize or change our bodies, especially in art, when art is supposed to be capturing the true natural beauty of something. Not only were the women in the painting painted in their natural beauty, the landscape was also not imagined. It was one of Courbet's favorite places, and while some people criticized this painting, Courbet was used to the criticism and accepted it, because he knew what he was doing was capturing true beauty. The Stonebreakers, in my opinion, is what truly captures realism at its beginning. You see two men, one young boy and one man who seems to be too old, breaking stones. At this time, it didn't matter how old you were, how young you were. If you were a man, you needed to work to help provide for your family. This was the true definition of the middle class, the hard-working man, and how real life was back then. Courbet was one of the leading artists of this new realism, showing beauty in the non-beautiful, more average tasks of life. This movement led to the influence of many other art movements that came after him, like Impressionism and Surrealism. Going against the grain had to be difficult for Courbet, as many artists were still in the Romanticism era. But as we could see in this final quote, Courbet did not care about the criticism, as he says, "It is impossible to tell you all the insults my painting of this year has won me, but I don't care, for when I am no longer controversial, I will no longer be important."